Hi everybody, Mark Bates here. I'm the author of Programming in CoffeeScript, and I've got a few tips for you today I'd like to share. The first tip we're going to talk about is the existential operator in CoffeeScript. A lot of times when we're developing applications as developers, we need to check to make sure that something exists, and if it exists, then we want to do something with it. So, we'll say, okay, well, if, my variable foo exists, then I want to print it to the log. So we'll write quite elaborate if statements in JavaScript to check the existence of that variable. So we'll say, well, if foo is not undefined and if foo is not null, then it must exist, so we can do something with it. Well, thankfully, CoffeeScript has our back here, and it gets to do it with one character. If we look at the screen, we can see if foo question mark, and then console.log foo. So here we're going to do that same exact existential check, making sure that it is not null and it is defined, and then we're going to actually print something out to the log. This is amazing and such a great time saver. Plus, it makes your code a lot more readable. You look at this if foo question mark, and you know exactly what it's doing. You're testing for the existence of foo. And if we look at the next slide, we can actually see what that output of that JavaScript would be. So that's a JavaScript we don't have to type in order to check the existence of foo anymore, and that to me is quite nice. We can take it a step further and actually chain things off the question mark. So I think every developer at one point or another has put a console.log statement in their JavaScript to debug something, forgot about it, pushed to production, CEO comes running into their office minutes later saying, the app no longer works on my computer on Internet Explorer. You slap your hand to your forehead about 20 minutes later as you're trying to figure out what's going on and realize you left that log statement in there and Internet Explorer doesn't have a console. So thankfully, if we look at the slide, on the screen right now, we can see we can do console question mark dot log foo. So now we're going to check the existence of console, and if it exists, then we're going to actually call console.log off it. So this is amazing, and I have this set up as a little shortcut in my editor to always do this whenever I type log. That way I never forget and I never get into this situation. But it does have potential other places. We can do multiple chains. So here we see if current user question mark dot first name question mark, then we're going to print out current user dot first name to the log. So this is great. So we're saying, okay, well, if there's a current user and that current user has a first name, let's do something with it. And you can see the output of the JavaScript below, which is definitely something I wouldn't want to have to type. And that's it for the existential operator. I hope you enjoyed it.